Number 12. Tinned tuna, the cupboard staple. A drained tin carries about 25 grams of protein for roughly $1.20, which puts it among the cheapest complete proteins you can buy anywhere. Commercial canning began in the early 1900s, and it became a household staple within a generation because it kept indefinitely and needed no preparation. Most people have a tin in the cupboard right now and have not thought about it in months. If there are days when cooking simply is not going to happen, this is your insurance policy. A tin, a fork, and a slice of bread is 25 grams of protein in 90 seconds, with no stove involved. Having 2 or 3 tins in the cupboard means that a bad day never becomes a day without protein, and consistency matters far more than perfection for holding on to muscle. There is a genuine caution here worth stating plainly. Tuna is a large predatory fish and accumulates more mercury than small fish do, so health agencies generally advise moderation rather than daily consumption. Light or skipjack tuna carries considerably less mercury than albacore or big eye, which is a simple swap that solves most of the concern. For most people, 2 or 3 tins a week is comfortably within guidance. Buy tuna in olive oil rather than brine, drain it lightly, and dress it with lemon, red onion, and parsley. Skipjack is both cheaper and lower in mercury than albacore, which is a rare case of the budget option being the better one. Right after this, the seafood that looks like a treat and is quietly one of the leanest proteins there is. Number 16. Anchovies, the flavor bomb. 100 grams carries an enormous 29 grams of protein, one of the highest figures of any food in this video, along with calcium from the tiny bones and a serious dose of omega-3. The Romans built an entire condiment industry on fermented anchovy, called garum, and it was traded across the whole empire. Almost every savory dish you love in Mediterranean cooking has one dissolved in it somewhere. If your food has begun to taste flat and you are compensating with the salt shaker, one anchovy melted into the pan does more than a teaspoon of salt while adding protein and minerals rather than just sodium. This is the single most useful cooking trick in this video for anyone whose sense of taste has faded. It disappears entirely, leaving only depth behind, and nobody will know it is there. Anchovies are extremely high in natural glutamates, the compounds responsible for savory depth, which is why they amplify flavor rather than tasting fishy when cooked into a dish. Because they are small and short-lived, they sit at the bottom of the food chain and carry very little mercury. They are genuinely salty, so if you have been told to reduce sodium, use them as a replacement for salt rather than in addition to it. Melt 1 or 2 fillets into warm oil with garlic at the start of any tomato sauce, soup, or braise, and they will disappear completely within a minute. A jar costs about $4 and lasts months in the fridge under oil. The ones packed in salt are better than those in oil if you can find them, though they need rinsing. Right after this, the fish that people over 60 should probably eat most often and eat least often. Number 17. Mackerel, the underrated oily fish. 100 grams carries about 19 grams of protein and one of the highest omega-3 contents of any fish you can buy, well above salmon in most measurements. It is also among the cheapest fish in the shop because it is abundant, it does not keep well fresh, and it has an assertive flavor that put a generation off. Tinned mackerel solves every one of those problems. If you are buying fish oil capsules every month, a tin of mackerel gives you more omega-3 than a day's dose for about $1, along with 20 grams of protein the capsules do not provide. The research consistently finds stronger results for eating oily fish than for taking the isolated oil, which suggests the whole food matters. 2 tins a week costs less than a single bottle of capsules. Mackerel is exceptionally rich in EPA and DHA, the 2 long-chain omega-3 fats involved in regulating inflammation and in the structure of brain and eye tissue. Reviews of dietary patterns high in oily fish consistently associate them with better cardiovascular and cognitive markers in older adults. Though the evidence is observational, and diet as a whole is always the confounder. Like herring, it also carries vitamin D and B12. Buy it tinned in olive oil or tomato sauce for about $1.50, flake it onto toast with lemon and black pepper, and eat it cold straight from the tin if you like. Fresh mackerel must be very fresh, so if it does not smell clean and of the sea, leave it. The next one is the cheapest thing at the fish counter and carries more of one vitamin than any other food on the planet. Number 18, mussels, the cheapest seafood, and this is the one I promised you at the start. 100 grams of cooked mussels carries about 24 grams of protein and an astonishing amount of vitamin B12, several times your entire daily requirement in one modest serving, more than any other food on Earth. They also deliver more iron than red meat, gram for gram. They are farmed on ropes, need no feeding at all, and are among the most sustainable animal foods there is. If you are tired in a way that sleep does not fix, if you feel the cold more than everyone around you, or if your balance has become less certain, both iron and B12 are worth testing for. Absorption of both falls with age because your stomach makes less acid, so the amount in the food has to be generous to compensate. Very few foods deliver both together in these quantities. B12 deficiency in older adults is common, frequently missed, and genuinely serious because prolonged low levels can cause nerve damage that does not fully reverse even after treatment. It shows up as fatigue, tingling in the hands and feet, unsteadiness and memory changes, and it is often mistaken for ordinary aging. Mussels also carry selenium, zinc, and manganese in the same mouthful. Steam them in a covered pot with garlic, wine, and parsley for 4 minutes until they open, and throw away any that stay firmly shut. A kilo costs about $5 and feeds 2 generously, which makes this the best value protein in this entire video. Buy them alive and cook them the same day. The next one is the tin I opened this video with, and there is one detail about it that changes everything. Number 19, tinned salmon. The bones you never notice, and this is the one I teased at the beginning. 100 grams carries about 22 grams of protein, and because the bones are canned in and softened by the pressure, roughly 240 milligrams of calcium, which is more than a glass of milk. The bones become so soft they crush between your fingers and dissolve completely into the flesh. Nobody who eats it ever notices them. If you have been told your bone density is falling and you cannot manage much dairy, this tin quietly solves the problem. It delivers calcium, protein, and vitamin D in a single food, and those 3 are exactly what bone tissue is built and maintained with. Very few foods offer all 3 together, and this one costs about $2 and needs no cooking. Bone is roughly half protein by weight, which is why calcium alone has never been the whole answer, and vitamin D governs how much of that calcium you actually absorb. Research on older adults has repeatedly found that adequate protein intake alongside calcium is associated with better bone density, and that low protein undermines calcium supplementation. Tinned salmon happens to deliver the combination that the research keeps pointing at. Mash the whole contents, bones included, with a fork until they disappear, then use it in fish cakes, on toast, or fold it into pasta. Look for the tins that say bone-in or traditional rather than boneless, skinless, because the boneless ones remove the entire benefit. Pink salmon is cheaper than red and nutritionally near enough identical. And now the last one, which does everything this tin does and costs even less. Number 20, sardines, the complete tin. And this is where we started. 100 grams carries about 25 grams of protein, roughly 380 milligrams of calcium from the soft edible bones, a substantial dose of vitamin D, and one of the highest omega-3 contents of any food, all for about $1. There is no other single food in this video that delivers protein, calcium, vitamin D, and omega-3 together in one place. They are named after Sardinia, where the shoals were once so thick you could scoop them from the shore. If you take away one thing from this video, make it this tin. It addresses muscle, bone, heart, and brain in a single mouthful. It requires no cooking, no fridge until opened, and no skill at all. For anyone over 60 living on a fixed income, there is genuinely nothing else in a supermarket that does this much for $1. Because sardines are small and short-lived, they sit near the bottom of the food chain, so they accumulate very little mercury, which is why every health agency lists them among the safest fish to eat frequently. They carry the same long-chain omega-3 fats as salmon at a fraction of the price, and the softened bones supply calcium in a form your body absorbs well. One genuine caution, they are moderately high in purines, so if you have gout, keep them occasional rather than daily. Eat them straight from the tin on toast with lemon and black pepper, or mash them into pasta with garlic and parsley. Buy the ones in olive oil rather than sunflower oil, and eat the bones, because that is the entire point. A tin costs between $1 and $2, keeps for years in a cupboard, and is the single best value food in this video.